Okay, so it's really bright out here, but I wanted to come on because I thought this would be a good example of why I created Anjanetta's piece. So, people who have an issue with a codependent pattern tend to get lost in their emotions and seeking validation through other people. And so it was Mother's Day weekend, so I had a real struggle. I had already planned my weekend of how I was going to work, the hours I was going to work, the time, and all that. And what happened was I didn't know it was Mother's Day weekend before the weekend started. So I was intentionally planning to keep myself busy because I had gone through another, given a person a chance to be back in my life, and he pulled the same old bull crap. But this time it was worse. It seems to get worse each time. So I said to myself, okay, well, you know what this is. Let this go. Let him do his thing. You can't control people, places, or things. The issue is, I know for myself, I need downtime after an experience like that. I no longer try to push through and act like I'm okay and act like nothing happened. I don't want to hear anybody's opinion. Want to I don't want to try to figure anything out with anybody. I just need some downtime with me and the Lord so I can look at how I could have done things better, look at my piece of the situation, how I could have handled things differently. If something like this comes up again, what do I do with it? You know, those kind of questions, those self-reflecting questions you do when you have, a situation arise. So the problem came in when the Lord has given me the best 3 kids in the world. Like, he's given me the best kids. And these kids were so excited to celebrate me, right? So you would think, what's the big deal? Throw that stuff off to the side, and focus on what your kids is doing and hang out with your mom, because by the grace of God, I still have my mom here. A lot of people don't. Or they don't have good relationships with their mom. So it's like they don't have a mom. So there's a lot of things I had to be thankful for. And all that I could think about was wanting to get home, get in my bed, get something good to eat, and watch some movies. And that's what I do when I shut down, when I get overwhelmed. I just want to be left alone. I just want to hide in my room. I'm a person, I like my space, so it's very important for me to have my space a certain way. I mean, it gets to the point where I have to check myself, like, calm down, it's not that serious. So, long thing short, fast forward through the weekend, I was able to spend time with my kids like they wanted. I was able to get to church. I was able to celebrate my mom. But it was such a struggle, I didn't get out and work the way I needed to. So when I go through these situations, something's always affected. And I try to make the priority to not let it be my kids that get affected as far as how I'm treating them and our relationship. So something has to give. So it ended up being work, which is fine, not a big deal. But financially, that was not a good thing to happen this weekend. So then, because that was affected, then my mood was affected more. So then come today, when it's time to get up and get out of bed and get moving, because I transitioned off of my traditional job, and I'm doing like different little side gigs until I go to what my plan is for August. And I couldn't get out the bed, right? If it wasn't, it was just such a heavy depression, oppression type feeling on me. I could not get out of the bed. I tried to do my put your toe outside the bed, roll out the bed on the floor. I just laid on the floor. I mean, it was terrible. I just laid there. And then when I was able to get up, it was because I started praying in the spirit. asking the Lord for help. And I really wanted to share this because I believe people have this idea that once you get saved, once you once your life is focused on Christ and what He would have you be and what He would have you do, and it's, your whole life is centered around your relationship with Jesus. I think people have this idea that you're not going to go through certain stuff ever again, and that if you do go through anything, it's just going to be like a snap of the finger and you just jump up and run around, do what you got to do. It's not like that at all. It is, you still go through things that you've gone through, especially if you have certain mindsets that set you back. You can still go through those things, but it's different because who you're going through it with. Like, Jesus brought me through that moment. There was a time where I could be down after something like what happened this past week. I could be down for months at a time. But by the grace of God, it only lasted 3 days. And it only lasted 3 days. I got up, I got back to work, and even though my weekend was financially disrupted, it wasn't like months of my whole life being disrupted. And I just always go back to what is my peace? What is Anjanetta's peace? What do I need to ask the Lord to help me with? How do I stand strong and stand firm in this situation? Or do I need to not stand firm and strong in this situation? And is this one of the situations I just need to rest in Him and just let Him be who He is and guide me and move me on my path? Or is this one of those situations where I need to fight back in a sense of the way that the Lord tells you to fight back? Not like my old ways, like, tearing something up or catching somebody when they're not looking, or the old Anjanetta. Like, what is my peace right now? And maybe, just maybe, fighting back is not doing anything at all and just hitting that little block button on your phone. Not because you're trying to be facetious and show that person who's in charge or what they can and can't do, but to protect yourself so that you don't have anything coming through that phone that you're not planning for. And I think that's the biggest difference when you start to have a Christ-centered life instead of your life being centered on that, whether you're a man or woman, that partner's attention, an affection you're trying to keep, or whether you're trying to have your life centered on whatever your thing is. If it's a job that you overdo it with, if you dive into overly taking care of people and avoiding your own life, whatever your ism is, having a Christ-centered life will stop you from doing that. And I was able to get up, reflect today, and say, okay, Lord, I need to be out doing more service work because I'm way too focused on myself. I'm way too focused on what I want, what I need, how things need to be, instead of asking you your will and following that, aligning myself with that. And I think that's the biggest difference in this life, and no longer giving in to the pattern, not necessarily giving in, no longer yielding to the patterns of codependency, but I'm yielding to the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit, that tells me it's all right to have a bad moment. It's all right to have a bad day. There's nothing absolute when you're dealing with people. It's okay to give a person another chance, but if you can see that they're still playing games and doing the same old crap, it's okay to move yourself back and say, you know what, Lord, I'm gonna wait on you. You let me know what you want me to do with this. Your will, thy will, not mine, be done. So I'm hoping this encourages someone who might have went through something similar this past Mother's Day. I hope that, you'll see God's grace and be able to keep moving forward and experience God's grace and mercy. And with that, I hope you're having a great Monday, and talk to you later.